Hello and welcome to the Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust Wilder Lincolnshire podcast. I'm Melvyn Pryor. Matthew Capper's also out and about. Nice and early today, Matthew.
Definitely the term here is good morning.
Good morning, it is indeed. Nobody else is much about, but I can hear a bird calling in the background.
Yep, so welcome to Whisby. We are... not long been light, has it? It's
No.
Stupid o'clock. But you're right, there are birds singing. Actually, the main backdrop that we can hear is the black-headed gull colony, which is just the background noise of Whisby in the summer. But that's not why we're here. We're here for other birds this morning.
Yeah, I think, was it a blue tit or a great tit in the background I could hear?
Blue tit just a minute ago, yeah. There's been blackbird, there's been wren. The birds are starting to sing. It is... spring in the UK. Our woodlands are always a fantastic place to kind of come and experience birdsong, particularly one of the wonders of nature, and that's the dawn chorus.
Yeah, we've sort of missed the real dawn, I suppose, today, but at the same time, there's an awful lot of bird song around. Why do the birds sing at this time of the morning?
Yeah, so the best thinking is a few reasons, really. So first of all, in the half light of dawn, actually it's quite hard to find food. So if you're going to get up and expend energy, singing is probably quite a useful thing to be doing. Secondly, actually, it's pretty windy this morning. It's a bit cold and it's not the best of days. But ordinarily, dawn, the air is very still. There's not a lot of background noise. So if you're a bird and you're singing, that song carries further. So they've done some research and they reckon that birdsong carries about 20% further at dawn than at any other time of day. So
Wow.
Yeah, so if you're wanting to sing and proclaim your territory, that's a good time to do it. And then the third reason, I think, for me, at the moment, we've got lots of summer migrants coming back. So things like blackcaps, willow warblers, they're all coming back from Africa. Actually, a lot of them arrive during the night. So if you're a bird and you've already arrived, singing at dawn to sort of basically say to those other birds that arrived overnight, look, I'm already here, this is my territory, keep out. Again, that's probably the best time to be singing. So I think there's a few reasons why they do sing. And because they all sing at that same time, that's when you get that chorus, that crescendo of noise. Sometimes it's really hard to pick out stuff, but... We'll get out there this morning and see if we can pick out a few birds for you.
Do you think it's more territory than attracting a mate then at this time? Because it's quite frantic singing, isn't it?
It's both.
Yeah?
Yeah, so what you are doing, you're exactly right. You're saying to other males, look, this is my patch, keep out. But you're also saying to the females, hello, hello, hello. And for most birds, one song does both bits. But for some, so take a wood warbler, for example, it does a song like a kind of if you spin a coin on a table and it comes to rest, wood warbler song sounds just like a coin spinning on a table. That's the territorial bit, but then in between times it will go pew, 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 and that's the come hither bit. So actually they have two different songs for the two different purposes.
Well, come hither with me as we head towards the lake. What an invite, I know, this time of the morning as well. We're going to head down to where the main lake is here at Whisby. I know it's going to be quite windy down there, but it is an incredible sound when you get close to the birds, isn't it?
It is. So the black-headed gulls nest out on the islands here. Sadly, like a lot of gull colonies in the UK, we got hit by bird flu last year. So the number is very much down this year. But as you'll start to hear in a second, there's still a lot of birds out there and there is still a lot of noise. It's fabulous.
It is indeed. I'm going to push the microphone towards where the birds are calling at the moment. I know it's a bit of a windy morning, but hopefully you'll get an idea.
And you can hear they just squabble, and there's pairs bonding, but they're arguing amongst each other, and it just makes for a fantastic sound.
Now, what will have happened? Have you had to control the levels of the main lake here so it's suitable for breeding?
Yes, I mean, people tend to look at a nature reserve and think that you just put a fence around it and let nature get on with it. But actually, a lot of our nature reserves are really heavily managed. The wardens do a really good job. They know what they're doing. And out here, one of the things that they do is manage those water levels, and the breeding islands need to be clear of vegetation. and need to be nice and bare and shingly for the gulls to want to breed on them. So one of the things that they'll do is they'll clear them of vegetation in the autumn, then they'll flood them out through the winter to suppress that vegetation. Then when the spring comes, they'll start to draw the water down, and they'll continue to do that throughout the season, so they're always exposing a little bit more mud. That helps with the waders and things like that in the autumn.
It is a cold morning. Will the birds wait until it's a little bit warmer weather before they start laying eggs, do you think?
I think these are going to be laying eggs regardless. We're getting into the spring period. In fact, stuff is moving earlier and earlier because our general pattern has been milder. I know it's cold this morning, but with milder winters, a lot of the birds are starting to nest earlier. So, these are already well underway.
Exposed site here. Shall we move into the woodland area and see if we can hear some other bird song this morning?
Yes, please.
Out and about with Matthew Capper. We're at Whisby Nature Park early in the morning, but we've come away from where the main lake is with the gulls, and you've just identified a bird that I've been trying to find with the binoculars high up in the tree.
It was much smaller than you thought, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
But this is actually one of our summer migrants, and a really easy one to start with because this is a chiff-chaff. I'm not sure whether the microphone's picking it up, but chiff-chaffs are really good because they sing their name. So they go chiff-chaff, 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 chiff-chaff. It's a small, greenish, yellowy warbler. So they migrate to Africa in the winter, although increasingly some of them are staying in the UK. And then they come back, one of the earlier ones to come back, and then very helpfully sing their name. There's an almost identical one called a willow warbler. But they sing a very, very different song. So the main way to tell them apart is with the song.
Now, as a keen birder, I hope that's the right phrase,
Yep.
Are you also, as well as trying to identify the birds by seeing them, do your ears get tuned in to what you're listening to as well?
Yeah, always. And it's funny because once you do become a keen birder, you sort of inhabit a different world to most people because you walk down the street and you're constantly tuning in to the different birds that you're hearing.
Yeah.
So wherever I go, I'm all, there's a dunnock singing over there or whatever. And actually learning the bird songs, as well as being just nice to listen to, they help you pick up birds so much. I see so many more birds because I hear them first. And that's one of the really good tricks to learn. If you know that you're picking up, there's a dunnock singing over there or whatever, and then you think, that's something different, then you start looking and then you start to pick up other things.
So you hear a dunnock and you think the dunnock's probably more likely to be on the ground than the chiff-chaff high in the tree.
Yeah, so that chiff-chaff is doing exactly what it should. It is right in the very top of the tree. The song will carry quite a little way. But you're right, yeah, everyone has a little niche, and so we'd be listening for dunnocks down in the undergrowth. Very interesting birds, dunnocks.
Yeah, yes, they are. Yes, we've talked about those at Farings,
yeah.
But looking at the bird here, again, it would be difficult to identify because it's actually got quite a light sky in the background. So actually identifying the colouring of birds is quite tricky at times, isn't it?
It is, and again, we didn't really need to see it because hearing it, we knew exactly what it was. If it comes down a little bit, you'll get those nice green colours. It's just dropped down a little bit now there, actually, so having another look at it might actually pay off at the moment.
Have you heard anything else calling in the background?
Yeah, there's wood pigeon cooing away. We've had blackbird, we've had robin, we've had dunnock, we've had blue tit, we've had great tit. There's plenty singing. We'll have a little wander on and see what we can get.
OK, let's carry on our wander. Carrying on our walk around at Whisby Nature Park, and we're actually standing underneath a tree, and there was a bird calling just above us.
Yeah, so we've got a wren singing up here at the minute. We'll see if we can get it on the recording. They always tend to shut up as soon as you want them to sing. They never do it. They never do it on cue, do they?
Well, what always amazes me, because I get wrens on the allotment, to be honest with you, you hear this loud bird calling, and you sort of think, well, it must be quite a large bird, but the wren, tiny, tiny bird, big song.
Yeah, so they're very nearly our smallest bird. Goldcrest just pips them as our smallest bird, but they don't weigh much more than a 20p piece.
Right.
And they're tiny little things, but as you say, they've got a great big gob on them. It's just started to sing there.
It stopped again.
It stopped again, yeah. But they absolutely belt out their song, which is fantastic. One of the easiest ways to think of wren, there's always a big trill in there. So I always say shrill with a trill, and you've got a wren. So that's what you need to remember going forward, is shrill with a trill, and that's your wren.
I'm learning a lot. I mean, the problem with this time of the year is we're getting lots of sounds, we're getting lots of noise. We want to encourage people to come out and enjoy the dawn chorus, but of course it's getting earlier every day, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we're here. It's actually mid-April when we're recording this in time for our May podcast. And that's because early May is peak dawn chorus. It's the best time to get out there. It is early by that time of year. You know, you could be getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning, but it's worth it. The alarm clock goes off. You don't want to get out of bed, but it's worth the effort, because this is one of the UK's best natural wildlife experiences. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to do anything other than just get up early, find your nearest bit of parkland or woodland, and just wander around or sit on a park bench and just enjoy it. It's fantastic.
When I was a radio presenter, I used to get up at about 4:15, and when it was this time of the year, I would go out in the garden before getting in the car and driving to work and just record in the garden at sort of 4:15. The sound was amazing, so loud, because there were no other sounds to distract from it.
Yeah, so as you say, you don't even have to leave the garden if you want to enjoy this. I mean, some people, they want to kind of know what they're listening to. Early May, there will be plenty of guided dawn chorus walks. We've got things going on here at Whisby, down at Gibraltar Point. So people can get involved if they want to, but you don't have to. It's just accessible for everyone.
Yeah, and I love the thought of going round with a guest, with somebody saying, look, that is the sound of such and such. You highlighted the wren a little while ago. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I definitely heard it.
Yes, it is nice if you've got somebody that can interpret it. But if not, just sit back and just take it in and just kind of have that collective soundscape and just let it wash over you.
It's a cloudy morning as well, but I can just see a bit of sun trying to peek through, and a beautiful swan just going past in front of us as well.
Yeah, it looks quite regal and serene, doesn't it, the swan? Yeah. You wouldn't think they can be so aggressive, but it's looking very nice with the sun kind of peeking through behind it.
And people like to see swans, and if they come to Whisby, certainly plenty here as well. But are they very territorial as well?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, they'll drive away other swans from their territory, and they'll often get pretty aggressive. Everything at this time of year is breeding and wanting to keep its own space.
Generally, one sort of swan here at Whisby?
We occasionally get hooper swan in the winter. Buick swans in the UK have become very, very rare. Most of our hooper swan records tend to be birds just passing through, and they don't tend to stay for very long.
Let's carry on our wander, see what else we can see and hopefully listen to as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Carrying on our wander around Whisby, as well as being chilly, there's been a bit of rain in the air as well this morning. That's putting the birds off, isn't it?
It is, but it's not dampening our spirits, is it?
It's not indeed. This is a bit like me searching for the bittern at Farrings, isn't it?
I think we're doing a bit better in terms of what we're seeing. We didn't get bitten, and you're never going to let me forget that, are you?
Not at all. Look, we're at a junction here at Whisby. This is a place that I like because you make your choice here. You can either go up the steps and over the railway line to another part of the reserve, or you carry on your walk round the general lakes. But at this junction, we've had some real song, haven't we? Some real choice of songs here.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We've kind of left the black-headed gulls behind a little bit.
I can still hear them.
I know, but it's a bit easier to pick stuff out. So there's been wren just over behind your shoulder here. There was blackcap a second ago singing right behind you. Garden warbler was singing just down here. Chiff-chaff over there. There was willow warbler. There's been wren. There was wood pigeon cooing. There's been robin further down. We even had a pair of sparrowhawks just circle around and carry on through. So they've clearly got a territory just over here. And that just shows you when you're out here at dawn, everything's singing, and it's not, to be fair, the best dawn chorus this morning because of the weather, but there's still so much singing around us.
Yeah, I was off recording the wren, and it was when I came back out of the wooded area, you said, "Oh, you've just missed a pair of sparrowhawks."
Well, I didn't want to interrupt your recording, to be fair.
So again, they're birds to watch out for. I don't think I've ever seen a pair of them.
No, well, they're this time of year their wool display. The males are smaller than the females, and they need that sort of pair bonding early in the spring. The males will often circle up quite high, and they'll do a bit of a display. They do what's called the bumps. They'll go down, almost fold their wings in, swoop down, and then they'll go back up again. It's their way of kind of just getting that bond and that relationship.
And it's the sparrowhawk that we might see in our gardens, isn't it? Sort of going through at speed and grabbing a bird that could be in our garden feeding.
Yeah, so things like blue tits, great tits, sparrowhawks are perfectly adapted for going at speed through tight spaces like woodland canopy, through the kind of the gardens, the hedges, the fences, and they're very much a stealth and surprise attacking bird. They've got very long legs, rounded broad wings allows them to turn and twist in the air, and then they can stick their legs out and grab hold of something like a blue tit as they fly through the garden.
Yeah, obviously dawn chorus, all about the birds, all about the song, but also plant life is coming into flower. Lots of bluebells around at the moment, and just down the lane here I'm looking at some cowslips that are coming out.
Yeah, it's a nice time of year. So again, as well as getting out for the dawn chorus, get out to your local nature reserve, get out to your local piece of woodland, and just enjoy the flowers at this time of year.
Yeah, the scent of the bluebells, because I grew up in a bluebell wood in Suffolk, and that used to be a very, very special time of the year.
Yeah, they need to flower before the leaves are out completely and shade out the light in the woodland floor. So this is why a lot of the woodland flowers are earlier in the year than the grassland flowers, because they need that nice light and they don't want to be too dark and dim under the woodland canopy. So that's why they're out now.
I think we've done very well on bird song. We'll have a final scout round and see if we can hear anything else.
Yeah, let's have a wander on.
So just having a listen to the sound at the moment, and there's a whole mixture of birds here. We're quite high up, aren't we, as well?
Yeah, so very close to us, just at the back here, is willow warbler singing. Just sang there, you might have been able to pick that up.
Yeah.
So it goes down the scale, and then it comes back up with a little inflection at the end. So that's willow warbler, just did it again. That's quite a nice musical sort of song. Another one that we've had over on the other side, song thrush. So the song thrush singing out there at the moment. Easy way to remember song thrush. They do different phrases, and you can hear it doing it over there. Toot, 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 toot. So a repetition. Always think of repetition with song thrush. Toot, 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 chew, chew, chew. So every phrase gets repeated. And it just did it again.
Yeah,
chew,
I heard that.
chew,
Yes,
chew.
yeah.
So that's song thrush. So that's nice and easy to tell.
Do they tend to be right high in the tree as well?
Yeah, you want your song to carry.
Yep.
So they'll sit up at a reasonable height.
I love the way, and I'm just watching what you're doing here. You're tuning your ears in and trying to cut out other sounds, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's the way to do it, is to just try and filter and work out each one. And once you know each particular song, you just tend to build from there. And another little tip that I often say to people, it makes you look a right old fool, but actually put your hands behind your ears and almost make two sort of satellite dishes on either side of your head. and then use that, and you'll be amazed at how much of the other noise you filter out behind you.
Well, I've just done that listening to you, and you come through much louder.
Yeah, so just use it as a direction finder. So there's a bird singing over there, cut out everything else and just focus on that. And I can immediately hear that song thrush better by doing it. And then come around here, and I can immediately hear the willow warbler without the sound of the song thrush in the background.
You look just like a long-eared bat.
Well, you know, as I said, it's not exactly the most edifying way of kind of looking first thing in the morning, but it's a dawn chorus. There won't be anybody else around. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm here. Continuing our early morning walk around Whisby, and we've come across the railway line now, and it's interesting at Whisby because some people will perhaps just walk around the lake near the visitor centre, but you can go further afield, and there are sort of specific areas, aren't there?
Yeah, we've sort of zoned the reserve, really. It's a fantastic place, Whisby. It's one of our most biodiverse sites in Lincolnshire, actually. And it came out of all the gravel extraction in the area, and the Trust took it on, and we've sort of turned it back to nature. So you've got all of these lakes, lots of sort of woodland here, scrubby areas, and then nice visitor centre. So Links Inspire managed a visitor centre here. So it's got lots of facilities, and as you say, we've zoned it so that you can walk around the first lake, much more family friendly. Then the next zone, good footpaths, lots of bird hides, you know, lots of infrastructure. You can have a walk with your dog around there. Then you get over to the other side of the railway here, and it's much more of a quieter wilderness zone, a little bit more undeveloped, so you can kind of just go and explore and discover it yourself. So something for everybody, I think.
Indeed, the area I'm looking down at now is quite a wet area, and I do remember on certain times of the year getting bitten by midges and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah, we've got some really special wildlife here. So we're a dragonfly hotspot, so all of the ponds and things are good for those, but they are also quite good for the mosquitoes. We have a really good assemblage of flowers. So some of the orchid species like helleborines, really, really good assembly of those. But you do need to know what you're looking for, and you do need to be prepared to come with lots of bug spray.
Indeed. It's the time of the year that the moths and the butterflies are becoming active as well. I got some great sightings, I think. Would it be a speckled wood that I had in the garden the other day?
Yeah, they're one of the earlier ones to come out. A fairly long flight period, so you'll often get those at the end of the season as well. And here, particularly along the edges of the woodlands, the paths along the woodland rides, very good for speckled wood. Yeah.
We were talking about encouraging people to come out and enjoy the dawn chorus. Yes, it will be early if it's into May, but on the website generally, does it tell us activities, what sort of time things like that are happening?
Yeah, so if people want to go to our website, just Google the Wildlife Trust and you'll get to our website very, very easily. And there's an events section. It'll tell you everything that's going on. We have so many events going on right across the county. Our area groups are always running events as well. We've got some dawn chorus things going on, so you can find out details. If you are going to go out and do a dawn chorus, just I would say have a look at the weather forecast. Don't do what we've done and come out on a rainy day, because we've had a really lovely time. We've had some good birds. It's not quite been the cacophony that you can get. So definitely have a look at the weather forecast and don't do what we did.
We've had a good time. I hope you've enjoyed listening to it, and thank you for listening to the Wilder Lincolnshire podcast.